Shake that groove thing. Groove thing. Shake that groove thing.
Hello and welcome to our podcast.
Exciting, isn't it?
Very exciting. So this is the HUUB British Triathlon Age Group Insights, and it's called Behind the Kit.
You're not going to want to know too much, are you?
I'm going to want to know everything.
What you're going to want to know?
Everything. We're going to be asking you all the questions that everybody wants to know.
Really, and
Yep.
some nice ones and some testing ones.
Of course.
Oh, no,
know
I
me
thought you were
well
my friend.
So these questions actually have come directly from age groupers. They are the things that everyone's talking about,
Right,
the
yeah.
questions that people want to ask you. So
Great.
this podcast is going to be you explaining decisions. You know, we're going to be chatting about the kit. We're going to be talking about performance. We're going to be bringing in a whole team of volunteers.
Perfect. Yeah, we want to tell that story as well because it's more than just the kit. It's the most important thing, but there's more
Absolutely.
than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before we go any further, I want to start with Dean. Dean is the CEO and founder of HUUB, and basically it's his passion. This is you. What does this partnership with British Triathlon mean to you?
It's always been a dream of mine to work with British Triathlon in one way or another. So why is it so important? Oh, come on, why wouldn't it be? The biggest age group team in the world in triathlon, probably the toughest test bed for your product because, you know, not livelihoods, but lifestyles and achieving and wanting to be the best are online. And it's always been a dream of mine to work with British Triathlon in one way or another. So for me, this is kind of like reaching the pinnacle, reaching the peak. You have the biggest team in the world, the most discerning team in the world. And boy, it keeps us on our toes. It helps us make a better product, helps us explore so many different angles in product development and performance that it keeps us ahead of the rest. And that's not just ahead of every British age grouper, because we want every British age grouper to toe that start line, looking around at everyone else going, yeah, but I've got the secret you haven't got. You know, what you don't see is going to help me today. And that just drives me so much because we just love our team, don't we? We love our nation and we just want to win. So yeah, it's something. I've worked for several brands, and if we have time, I'll tell you a story about my days with ASICS later. But it's, I'm just incredibly, incredibly proud. And that's not just me, that's everyone in the business. And I know you're going to speak to Sharon later and Bish, and it just runs through the whole business. This is the most important partnership you could have in triathlon for me.
We have an amazing team, and I'm really excited. We're going to be chatting about the kit. We're going to be bringing people from British Triathlon in. We're going to bring HUUB members in, age groupers. It's going to be really exciting. So this means a lot to you, doesn't it?
Yes, it really does. And I want to say thank you for all the work you've put in. If you could see the notes that Helly has here and the prep that's gone into it, thank you so much. It's awesome.
This is why we're part of it, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
This is why you're a shining success at being organised, and I'm terrible.
Well, let me introduce myself. Some people know me. I'm a GP. I have been an age grouper for GB since 2019. And I am your HUUB age group advisor, I love our team. So what kind of commitment has HUUB had to put into this partnership?
Oh, blimey. Many, many layers, because you could be quite cynical and just say, yeah, well, it's about handing over a check and using a badge. And it's not. It's since we were first given the document of would you like to pitch and, you know, prove to us that you're worthy, which was a year before the actual handover of the contract. The clock started ticking, and that was a clock on manpower, on skills, on research, on visiting factories, on working with age groupers, which was the first place we went, was you and the cohort of age groupers that was most valuable to us. And that time on the clock helped shape the product, helped shape the look of the product, helped shape the performance expectations of it. We didn't just sit there with a pen and go, that looks nice. And then there was massive input from British Triathlon. You have rules and regulations also of World Triathlon. So from the off, the clock was ticking, and it was a big clock. But we also knew the time was against us because there was no way we could let down this cohort at all. We weren't prepared to do that.
Well, what a great lineup we have. I think we're ready to have a chat with the team.
And I think we should start at the beginning, because that was like the spark that inspired so many different thoughts and ideas. And it wasn't just about the product. We had to think about the whole service delivery, the customer service, they're getting the product in time and all of that. So I think if we yeah, if we have a speak to Sharon, who's the customer rep for age group, and David Bishop, who is not only a great triathlete, but incredibly good at sourcing the products and finding what what the age group are really needed.
Let's bring them in.
Shake that groove thing. Groove thing.
So, as promised, we are going to be chatting about kit. This is my HUUB family, and I think they're going to be too humble to introduce themselves. So, Dean, will you introduce Sharon?
Yeah, let
and
me
Vish?
say some nice things.
Please do.
So to your right, we have Sharon. Sharon and I have known each other for
Please don't say.
44 years. How's that? We met at secondary school and then caught up later on in life. And Sharon worked with me. I worked for Blue 70 for 4 years. Sharon did even longer. She did 6 years at Blue 70. So very long in the tooth when it comes to triathlon wetsuits, the evolution of the product and how to fit the product and manage the product. And then joined us just over a year ago with the main role of looking after the age group community. You're part of the British Triathlon partnership. We wanted to bring someone in who really kind of knew the sport, but also knew the product inside out, because that was obviously going to be one of the big tests. Yeah, and Sharon's absolutely brilliant and fantastic.
I think one of her expert things is she can look at somebody and size them.
Yeah, it's like a mystical gift. You know what I mean? You don't need tape measures when Sharon's around. And then on the other side, to my left and your left, we have David Bishop, triathlete, runner, part of the HUUB family, if you like, since the beginning, really. When I started on the kitchen table and in the garage, David would come round and get goggles and get some for his brother, and his mum was always round and helping with as many leads as we could get, Hillary. And now he has a really good triathlete for a brother, Tom Bishop, who I'm sure we're all aware of.
But don't I get told about it?
I know, he gets told all the time. Dude, Tom's brilliant. Tom's really good looking.
This is Bishwan. This is Bishwan. We've always said it.
Yeah, were you born first of the
was.
twins?
Yes,
Oh, okay then. Sorry, we should give you more. But David is also a 2:15:16, is it, marathon runner? So pretty damn impressive athlete in his own right, but has worked through the business in sales, product sourcing, athlete management. I'd say David's the most random person in the business.
There's nothing he doesn't know about kit. He
Nothing.
knows everything
Nothing.
about kit. I'm going to start with Sharon. So should we start with the 8-week lead on the kit, the timing for customization? I know that's really important to you to explain. That's something that age groupers are really interested about. Can you explain some of the difficulties that you have and how age groupers can help move that process along?
So the first thing to point out is that the suits are sublimated rather than printed when they're customized. So each order that comes across the system, across my desk, is an actual individual order to the factory that is then made for that customer with their name and any other personalisation, their logos that they want on it. Because the logos and the name are sublimated, that means it's put into the fabric at the point of production. So it isn't a case of you can have a suit, try it on, send it back, and then I can put your name on it. So also, it creates the problem that the logos in particular need to be in a particular format. When an order's placed, there is an automatic email that goes across to the customer, and that tells them what I need to know. So I need a surname and I need the logos in a particular format, which is all on there. If they don't come across in that format, we've already got an 8-week lead time, because as I say, each order is individual to the factory. Then they are extending that 8-week. And sometimes I know that there have been situations where people have qualified within the 8-week period. So we're already time precious. And then we need to make sure that those logos come across in the correct format. It's not a case of we don't want to help and don't want to do it if it's not in the right format. If we processed an order and the logo isn't correct, the end result would just not be something to be proud of. And we have done everything technology-wise, etc., to make sure everybody is proud of their suit. So then that's the finishing touch, and it needs to be right. And so the 8 weeks doesn't start counting until that's right.
Yeah.
And so, and also, like I won't submit an order until I've had the surname confirmed in writing, because like you and I, we might have had a maiden name as our email, and then we get married, and it's a married name that we want on a suit, not what's on the email or what's on an order. And if I go and assume, then I could be producing a suit that's incorrect. So it's just about making sure that all of that information is coming across to me in as timely a manner as we possibly can. And just because we can't, unfortunately, like I know that I wouldn't be able to just make that logo into the format that I need it in by myself. We quite often need to go back to the company and say, this is what they've asked me for. Can you please supply it? So that's the key thing. That's the key thing that creates a delay in any orders going through, to be fair.
It's quite complex, isn't it? There's a lot that needs to be in place. Can we ask Dean and Bish about the reasoning behind, the sublimation and why we went with that?
Go on, Bish.
It's probably just the best way to print onto kit. The longevity of the print, obviously sublimated, it's there forever until you get rid of the suit or whatnot. Whereas if you print with like a screen print vinyl print, you're exposed to the elements. If you swim in water or contaminated water, it can affect the printing. So it's just the most robust way to have your logos displayed, and your sponsors are providing you with kit or money or whatever it may be, and you want to display them when you're racing.
Yeah, so it's the best, really.
Yeah. Can I say on that, David and our finance and operations director, David Lamb, said they could print names individually on the kit with sponsors as well. And I said it would never happen. They could not pull it off. And I was adamant they couldn't do it. It would have to have the model where you take the suit and you print onto it. And they completely proved me wrong. And I would challenge anybody to find another company that can do it so efficiently and one suit at a time, and certainly within the price range that we're working in. But they pulled it off. I'm not sure if they wanted to pull it off just to really annoy me and go, yeah, look, we did it. But they did, and it's brilliant. We don't give ourselves enough praise for what was pulled off there.
Can I also just add, like, with regards to the sublimation, there's been lots of chat about the longevity of the suits and them staying out there and being used race on race. Well, sublimation, there's no better way of making sure that that suit's going to last. Your name on your suit is going to last as long as the suit.
Absolutely.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah. So hopefully that's some of those questions, because I think it's actually quite interesting for people out there to know that you guys can see everything that's written and you're human. And so I wanted to bring this, show people that these are the people behind it all. It's you're doing your best. Your absolute best.
And you can take stuff personally, because I know how everyone works to pull this off.
Yeah.
And like when I said you couldn't do it, they were determined to make sure they could do it for the better of the product and the service. And all we ask is just send us a logo in a certain file.
Yeah.
And give us plenty of time to sort it, and we can do our stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't think the ask is too much from our side, and
They can always ring, can't they? They can ring and
we prefer that. And for me, email's an old school form of communication. Phones are brilliant. Just straight on, hear each other, support each other.
The other thing as well, just one final note, we cannot provide a mock-up, or we can't provide a mock-up that would look anything like what the customer wants it to look like. When the proof that we get back from the factory is effectively a right-hand piece of fabric and a left-hand piece of fabric, and the print has to sort of overlap because it allows for a hem. Yeah. So it's showing you how it's going to print an individual piece of fabric, because that's when it happens, when the garment is still pieces of fabric that haven't yet been sewn together. So I have actually sent it to a customer before because they insisted on it, but it just makes no sense because it doesn't look how the finished garment is going to look. So again, it's not something where we just don't want to do this because it's time consuming, or it's just like it's physically not an option to us, because the suit it's at the point of pieces of fabric that are not yet sewn together.
And that's how the pros do it, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Is that we've learned from what we've done with our sponsored athletes and sort of taken that into the suits, which is, I guess, the theory from the start.
Absolutely. Should we move on to the kit and the brief that you were given? So years ago, years we're talking, you were told to make it better and faster.
I'd say it's probably longer than years. We got presented with the opportunity, but we've been, I guess, looking at this opportunity years before that. It's something, as Dean would say, he's something always wanted to do, and perhaps touched on it before. So, we'd be at races and always looking at what other countries are using, what GB have been supplied with before, and seeing and thinking or planning how can we make that better. So before we even got presented with the opportunity or to tender for kit supply, it's something that we've been working towards in the background, even if we didn't know it.
It's almost been like a dream, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. At times a nightmare, but yeah, definitely a dream.
So tell us what went on. What were you thinking when, how did you think we can make it better? We can make it faster. What did you think about?
I guess, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it properly. We see the British age group team is, in my opinion, obviously going to be a bit biased, the best team out there. Certainly the passion is there, and it's an amazing experience to be involved in competitions where you've got hundreds of athletes all with shared common goals. So we wanted to do them a service and make them faster, because we know we can. I mean, our motto is to make everyone faster, or improve their experience in swim, bike, run, whatever it may be. So we wanted to take our sort of mantra with that and apply it to making the greatest team greater, faster.
Brilliant. I've got some more questions here. I'm just going to have a little look. I met you years ago when I was on one of the ambassadors for British Triathlon. Can you tell me about the materials, the fields, the decision? I mean, I know I was involved with the design because, we sat around the Zoom and we looked at things, and everything we said, you took back and did, basically.
Yeah, as I said earlier, it's the most discerning cohort of athletes you will ever work with. And you've earned your place and you're buying your kit. It's not like you're being handed it and just, make do. So it has to meet those expectations.
Absolutely.
And when we were looking at the fabrics, you have to try and understand the economics of it. But there's a point where you just go, don't care. It's got to be the fastest possible. And David and I have the discussions regularly.
Yeah.
Because we may need to hit a price point and go, yeah, but that fabric's slower than that one.
Tell us about some of this conversation. I think that's what, our viewers want to hear.
It goes on all the time. Like me and Dean and other people in the company geek out on that sort of thing. Like, it goes on behind closed doors. It's not a suit. It's not the finished product. It's all the hours and tens of thousands of pounds that go into the research. We've worked with some of the best people in the world, the experts out there, to fine tune our fabric selection based on our fabric matrix, which is
expand on that, bitch, because I don't think
it's very impressive. Yeah,
fabric matrix.
Please do.
Well, it starts before I got involved in products, but we do testing in the wind tunnel, just cylinder testing on fabrics, just airflow over the top. Then we test real world conditions. We've done this at Silverstone, at the velodrome, on athletes, from professionals through to age group athletes through to beginners, because as you know, everyone has a different race speed, different profile. So it's important for us to figure out the performance of these fabrics. So we've done hours and hours and hours of research with the best minds, with Watchop, with the likes of Dan Bigham in years past, to basically get this massive matrix of fabrics and know what the properties are. We work with Steve Faulkner, Trent University, to look at the thermodynamic properties of the fabrics. So you look at aerodynamics, thermodynamics. You look at their property, like their abilities in the water, and obviously triathlon, 3 sports. You've got to find fabrics that are suitable across 3 sports. But then you quite often find that swimming fabrics aren't necessarily as fast as.
Absolutely, we'll be chatting to the age group as well. Perfect.
So it is so complex.
Something you said to me was, I didn't even think about it. You said which way it stretches. It's like it looks like suit once. It's like stretching the wrong way. So I think even like in terms of trying things on, you say Helly, that seam doesn't look quite right. It needs to come higher. It's
and sometimes you want stretch, and sometimes you don't.
Oh, you want it in the right direction.
Yeah, and if you get it in the right direction, you can put controls in, but also allow the product to fit.
Yeah.
And that's where I think we're quite different. We do it in our wetsuits, but we also do it in the tri-suits.
Yeah. I think that's absolutely brilliant. Was there anything else you wanted to chat about with kit? Or is that...
Well, I would say I take like, not it personally, but when someone says something about a suit, it's like I put a lot of time and effort into developing the suits or working with Dean and other people here to develop suits. And I've raised triathlon to an okay level at triathlon.
a very high level.
Well, yeah, okay, but and I've got my brother who's
He's all right.
all right. I mean, one of the best triathletes in the world. Anyway, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so I take that and look at the experience, and why would I want to make a suit or develop a suit that isn't fit for purpose? I know exactly what these fabrics are doing, what these suits, how these suits are testing. Why would I want to put a suit out there that's not fast and not deserve and what the triathletes, age group athletes are deserving of. So
I think you've nailed it. I think you've absolutely nailed it. I feel very protective of you, and I just wanted people to see who's behind it, and that you're human. You want the best for them. So that's absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much. And we're going to be moving on next to chat with one of our colleagues. He's an age grouper. He's been there for 10 years actually, and he's now on the age group committee. So we'll be chatting to Yanis.
Shake that groove thing. Groove thing.
Welcome, Yanis.
Thanks for having me. Hi, guys.
How you doing, mate? You good?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Yourself?
Nice jumper.
From the best, eh?
Hey.
That's exactly what we've been talking about. So welcome. And I'm sure you've got a lot to say, haven't you? Goodness me, what have you got to say about the suits?
Well, I love the suits, and I like the. Obviously, I was part of the design. Not the designer, but involved in the picking of the colours and design. So I was quite happy to see when you decided to go ahead with the Union Jack. But I think personally, it's the best. It's the best suit I've tried on so far.
Fantastic.
And used.
Well, you were there in the beginning, weren't you, when we sat around the table and your opinion was most important, because we can come up with as many ideas as we want, but if the age group fraternity don't like it, or it's not what the expectation is, then we're barking up the wrong tree.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've seen a lot of different suits, and I mean, the previous two, I wasn't particularly. I think they lost the identity. So I think this is probably a bit better. It's been the best tri suit, I think, and it shows more of the image of triathlon as well. Because if you go back to the Brownie brothers, well, you'll know, but when they London, their tri suits is very similar to the tri suits. The design is very similar to that.
Yeah,
the look of it.
I think that was one of the briefs we were given was how do we give the age group community its own identity, but at the same time similar to the elites.
Yeah.
But not the same as the elites.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was on that call too. And I remember we were thinking the same about, we need the flag, that, we really would like the flag, and Bish was there. And yeah, I think it is amazing that they do listen to us, isn't it? And they take it on board.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when I had I started in 2016, 10 years ago, and the first tri suit, I loved it. It was my favourite suit at the time, and it was really good. And then they released the new one with a lighter blue, and I just thought it just lost its identity compared to the colour now, for example. And there wasn't the flag wasn't prominent, so you couldn't see the flag. And I think it's important that you see the flag. Whereas the 217 kit it looks very similar to the old French kit, so you couldn't really see the difference between the two.
I don't know if many people understand the actual collaboration on getting to that design. The British Triathlon, Graham came forward and had lots of ideas. The age group cohort had ideas. We had our own ideas. And one of the things that I'm really excited about with all the suits and all the collection is that there's like that ribbon that runs in theme with the age group kit that's got like the chevrons of blue and red and white and sky blue in it. And it was Graham who came up with that at British Triathlon. And that's just the perfect finishing touch that adds an identity to every single product that we make.
Yeah.
Yes, you've got the big Union Jack, but you're not going to walk around with a tracksuit on, with a big Union Jack on, unless you're going up for an
No.
overseas football game. And I just think those little touches that the collaboration brought together really just give it that extra piece of shine for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you see it with like Team GB with the Olympic team. They have something that shows out, and I think well, as you said, it does show. And it's I think even like you've got it across like every kit line. I see you got it on the bags, on the training kit, the
Yeah.
vests. So I think it just stands out completely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'd put it on everything but British Triathlon. No, that's we've got to respect the age group community, and that's theirs.
Yes. Yeah.
It's
It is
theirs.
ours, isn't it?
It
Yeah.
is yours, yeah.
I mean, goodness,
I'd have been,
you've seen
I'd
so
been
many.
happy for it to be on here if it was on the site, little like
There's an idea, just a little like
Yeah.
an inch or something sewn on.
Yeah.
So you've got a few of the suits, I think. I mean, what are your ideas about? I mean, I know you're thinking of chatting about. It's the first time they've had a range of suits, isn't it? Is that the first time you've seen that?
No. I did mention this before when we did when we were going through and originally when we sat round and I said about like having two tiers, for example. When I did the 2016 one was there was a cheaper version and a more expensive
Oh, okay.
one. But they didn't do long sleeved. And there was also the 217 one, which the blue one, they did that as well. But I remember getting the suit, getting the like a faster suit. Two tiers, but when I got the cheaper suit as well, it didn't the same size didn't fit me.
Oh,
Um,
right, okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but they never did sleeve tri suits before. So, this is the first time I've seen sleeve tri suits, and I've had four different suits. Oh, sorry, four different suits. Sorry, I take that back. Uh, the last tri suit that was long. That was the first long sleeved ones they had there.
Fantastic. We nearly lost you there. Sorry.
Yeah, because
Oh.
Dean's fiddling with his laptop.
sorry, someone tried to call me. It's actually
What did I get up to?
no.
We didn't lose you. We
You're
just
still
we
in.
just lost your picture. Yeah.
It was the lovely British supplier that looks after us for changing robes. Oh, and now the Brownlee and Alex Shee's manager's trying to ring in, but you're far more important than him. Who's Alex Shee? Heard of him? Which
We
one
need
is
to
it?
try and
Next.
maximise you again. There
There
we
we go.
go.
You're back. Sorry, pal.
So, Yanis, what did you want to chat about? We feel like we're getting distracted with these little calls coming in. Tell us what you wanted to chat about with, your take on things.
Well, just the kit, for example. Was it when if like I know a few people were a bit not upset, but when obviously the first tri suit, the first sleeved one came out, and then there was another one that came out a couple months later, and
Yeah.
a few people were quite a bit, they bought that, but then they would have probably bought the more elite one, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and what's been quite interesting is you've got different production and lead times. So believe it or not, it's quicker for us to do a fully customized suit produced in Europe. But we wanted to do kind of like the pinnacle, the best of the best of the best, because we felt
Yeah.
the age group has deserved it. But and it is proven to be the fastest, and we just couldn't time it all at the same time. And what we didn't want to do was say the suits are ready, but they don't be ready till April. But sit tight because we want to add another suit to it. So we kind of released
Yeah.
it later and also judged the demand. And for those that go, I'm really disappointed that suit exists, you've got twice as many saying, oh, I can't believe I can actually use the fastest materials and the fastest aerodynamics. I totally understand that kind of frustration. It's like buying the latest car and then they go and do a super chipped version of it. But if anyone is interested in that Anemoy higher level suit, sit tight because actually we're working behind the scenes to make that quite accessible for everybody. Because with that suit, you have to add the names and any sponsored logos afterwards. And
Right.
Sharon, who works with products, is going to be explaining, if you haven't heard about it already on this podcast, just how the benefits of sublimation versus transfer print. So we're working something out so that you can have the very fastest suit with a deep impregnation of ink that works not quite as well as sublimation, but nearly as well. And we're looking to put a really good price on that one.
Okay, so again, I was going to say the price. Would the price be coming down, or would
Well, we
I
can't
know
bring
that's a
the
lot of
price
things.
down because of the manufacturing costs. But what we're
Yeah.
looking to do is we know there's a cost to having your name put onto your suit. So
Yeah.
we're going to be doing free naming on that suit because
Okay,
the irony
that's
of having
good.
the fastest suit without names on, but you decorate them afterwards is everyone's gone for the sublimated suit. And we know it's a better product from a printing point of view. We're using sublimation. But it's proven to be such a good suit. And yeah, it's a little bit slower than the Anemoy, but not enough for people to make massive drastic changes in the suit. So the stock suit is pretty brilliant, but the Anemoy is just that little extra on the top.
Okay, that's really good.
Well, sorry, I call it the Anemoy. It's not. It's our pro
Pro.
elite suit. Yeah. I'm stuck in mainstream line. Anemoy is always our statement product, if you like.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah. So the other thing I was thinking as well with the suit, when you design it, do you design it around a swimmer or do you design it around a triathlete? Like,
Great
We're going to be
question.
going into this. We're going to be talking about every single discipline,
Oh.
and
sorry.
and how. No. It's part of the podcast.
it's a great question.
But it is a good one, isn't it?
It is because the rules are always changing, and you're allowed to wear swimskins, and you're allowed
Yeah.
to wear wetsuits. So actually, we should be creating a suit that performs on the bike and the run because the swim is taken care of if you're wearing a wetsuit or a swimskin. But then
Yeah.
you may have an aquathlon where you don't want another suit layer because you want to get out really quickly and get on to the next discipline. We are typically designing for the dry parts, the bike and the run,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
as I said, there's normally something covering it, and the huge gains that can be had through aerodynamics. Now sleeves are allowed. That is number one priority for us because you can't wear anything on top. You've just got to wear that suit. There's no aero skin or there's no wetsuit for the bike. So that's kind of.
But you
where
do
we go
make
first.
adaptations for the swimmers. That's where I come in, and in terms of where does the neck come, how does it fit? We've looked at high-end swimsuits, and it's like and I know it's not a swimsuit, but where those comparisons are. We've looked into all sorts of things, haven't we?
Yeah, and we learn from the best. So Jess Learmont was struggling with her sleeve tri-suit. And we put the arms in arms neutral. So that's 90 degrees to the body because we look at the peak forces of fabrics during the swim stroke. So we put them there, but she just didn't feel comfortable. So for Jess, we changed the construction. We put an overlock in instead of a flat lock. And that solved it immediately. So they can start filtering down.
Yep.
It's brilliant what you learn. And like you may raise a question about necklines, or someone may say necklines absolutely brilliant for swimming, but someone will go, actually, it sits a bit too high for cycling.
Yeah, that's what happened.
This whole thing, is a compromise. But we're
Yeah,
narrowing and narrowing and narrowing down the compromise piece to single digits.
Yeah, and it's so tricky because not one size fits all. People talk about different sizing and shapes. Different people fit a small. It might be baggy in someone's back. It might be baggy on the thighs. So we're catering for such a big range of people, aren't we?
Big time.
Yeah, so
Big time.
for me, like the suit fits perfectly, but the arms are a bit because I've come from a running background. I'm naturally really skinny up here, so
Yeah.
it does a little bit of a bag. It's a bit baggy. Whereas other people are fine, but then they've got their legs are baggy. So I can understand how it's
we're
quite.
chatting about this last night.
And what we can do is we're so lucky here in Derby. We worked with an amazing seamstress called B. Russell. She worked for HUUB. But I could see she had such creativity and skills at making things.
Yeah.
So we helped her set up her own business called Flow Motion. And B now works with British Cycling. She works with some of the biggest cycling teams, do some really, really special projects for Winter Olympics and things. And if anybody really, really just needs that extra little piece, we won't get involved with it. But we can always pass you on to B, who can taper your sleeves for you or put a little bit in the waist. But we'll do 95% of the work so you don't have to. But for those little nuances, there's always an option. And that's not something we make profit on or we mark up. That we can put you straight in touch with B. You can get those things done.
Okay, that's
good to
really
know, isn't it?
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to know. Yeah.
Then that's what we're
Yeah.
trying to put out there, just all these questions that people have. And you've asked quite, some pertinent questions, that we were chatting, that you see them out there, don't you? People asking these sorts of questions.
Yeah, and it's normally to do with different shapes and sizes,
Yeah.
like people from different background. Like if you're a swimmer, you're gonna if you come from a swimming background, you're gonna have broad shoulders.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you're
And skinny little legs.
a cyclist, you're gonna have huge thighs, aren't you? So yeah, it's
Yeah.
trying to get a balance.
Absolutely.
Big time.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much.
Can I ask you while you're on there? So if we could improve the suit, one thing, what should we be working on or maybe focusing on?
I think the arms.
Yep.
The arms, yeah. I think the arms. The rest of the suit, I think, is fine.
So if we maybe just, what size suit do you wear?
Small. I think
Small,
small.
Okay,
Small.
so it's just an exercise. So we're always refining. But if we look at the smalls and the mediums, just to take a rain check and just understand if we could pull the arms in a little bit, is there enough stretch in the fabric that it's going to cover somebody who's perhaps a little bit thicker in the arms, shall we say?
Yeah.
It's good because, always keep challenging us, please do it politely and respectfully and we'll respond positively.
Yeah, because with the arms for me, they do feel loose.
Yeah.
I mean, I do weights and stuff, but I'm naturally skinny anyway. So,
But maybe 1 centimeter on the arms won't hurt the bigger units, but would work great for you. So, we'll have a look at that.
Okay, all right, no,
Perfect.
that's good.
Exciting. Thank you so much.
Every day is a school day.
It is. Well, that's the thing. You're always refining it, aren't you?
But it's good that you're learning. You speak to others, and like you're evolving and learning. I think that's the main, improve all the time. So
well, even like Dean said, with the turnaround, they brought out the sleeveless. They were told to make the O-back, and then they heard it was a sleeveless for the women, so they brought that out. And we tried it. The neck was a bit high, wasn't it, for the cyclist?
Yeah.
They've just brought out. We've just received it. It's for the amount of time it takes for something. It's very quick. The turnaround and the way that you're reacting to the feedback. So I think that's got to be commended.
Yeah, we also know that if you qualified or if you're a serial age grouper, you know the deadlines and you don't want to leave things too late. There is the odd one or two, and we want to make sure that when decisions are made, the product's ready, because you can leave it too late and you miss the bigger window.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's a big issue with a lot. I think people leave it too late, last minute, and then forget. Oh, what I was going to say as well before I go, what I did like about the suit, and I really liked it compared to other suits, was actually with the fabric, you actually had the name. It wasn't like a stamp. It was actually like
sublimated.
Part of the material. I thought that was a fantastic idea.
You've raised that. I've had to eat the biggest piece of humble pie, and it's discussed on this podcast, where I challenged the team who said they could do it. I said, you could never do that. You could never produce one suit with one name on it and it not be £1,000. And they've been to suppliers and worked on the efficiency of that supply and the logos and all the correct format. And I'm so proud of the team for pulling that off, because it's not easy. Yeah. Every suit's a complete one-off when you think about having a name on.
I would be very, very proud, because I mean, going back the previous tri-suits, they start coming off eventually. I mean, you go way back. I've seen people still wear the old ADAS ones, and they all their names and the logos all come off because they were stamped. And I just think, I just think that it's just a great idea. Fantastic.
Thanks, Janice. That was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah, right. It's insightful, and we're still learning as much as they want as we do. That's brilliant. I love it.
It's just fantastic. So we're going to be moving on to our other British Triathlon representative, Edwina. So join us very soon.
Shake that groove thing. Groove thing.
So we're now going to welcome Edwina to our podcast. Hi, Edwina.
Hey up, Edwina.
Hi, Dina.
You good?
Hi. So you are the British Triathlon representative and non-exec. Tell us who you are.
Yeah, so quick update. I'm Edwina. I'm on the BTF board, and essentially I cover all things age group and digital.
Oh, fantastic. Welcome.
Edwina's been brilliant with us, because she's been a great pointer to make sure we're going in the right direction, but a great sounding board as well. So we can throw ideas and come back and make sure we're on track. Brilliant.
Oh, fantastic. So, Edwina, you've got some questions for Dean, haven't you?
I have. So, Dean, I've got some challenging questions.
Go for it.
I want to put you on the hot spot a little bit. there's a lot of curiosity out there with regards to age group kit.
Yep.
And it'd be good to sort of like, hear some in the background. But essentially, really want to get underneath with regards to, what were some of the compromises you had to make in designing the age group kit versus elite kit?
Well, I mean, the answer to that is we didn't want to make any compromises from the offset, but you always have to, because you've got the considerations of supply chain. And the big one for the age group cohort is the decoration with the names on. We wanted every suit to be unique to that athlete. And, it's been mentioned a few times in the other guests we've spoken to. It was going to be really hard to get everyone's name on an individual product, because that makes it fully customized for a one-off. But the team pulled that off, which has been absolutely brilliant, without sacrificing the fabrics or the speed of the product. But the biggest challenge for us is to get that elite performance accessible in price, because the suits that we put Yellow Gaines in and Alex G and others, especially when they're doing long course, that's a £1,300 tri-suit. But we needed to put that technology into something that wasn't going to break the bank, because I think that would have given us some feedback if it was £1,300. So that was a compromise from our side to make sure we could deliver it. And that was a big sacrifice in time. There's also a sacrifice in margins, because we deliver the product at the price we want, and then we always have to work backwards and go, it's delivered as what we need, or maybe not what we need. So yeah, the compromise was always making sure the athlete was put first along with the performance, and performance has to count. We would never use the cheaper fabrics. We would never use the cheaper chamois. And also the factories that we chose to look after, the age group product, they had to be quick working, be flexible, and understand that, standards needed to be high.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, I wore the pro suit for Australia and Wollongong, and I loved it. And you were absolutely spot on with regards to fabric quality, and I love the personalisation. Nothing like a cheer when you're on the run course.
No, is there? Your name just picks you up.
It certainly does. You've made some, really good points around cost and accessibility.
Yep.
Now, for the age group community, this is really important to us, not to necessarily over-index on the tri-suit, but also the age group range.
Yep.
And, can you just share some thoughts there with regards to, how do you justify the cost of the age group range of kit?
I mean, that's a great question, because we have to ask ourselves that as well. Because how can we justify tying up £1 million in stock on something that might work or might not work, because it's never been done to the level of quality or design like has been done before?
That was your risk, wasn't it?
That was totally our risk. So yeah, I say Edwina's asking me, and we ask ourselves that question.
Yeah.
We think everything's really well priced, and I'll tell you why that is. Because if you go to a factory and say, I want 3,000 of that one product in 5 sizes, and the zipper doesn't change, the color doesn't change, that doesn't change, this doesn't change, you can get it in one bulk, you're getting a slightly better price. But because nearly every single one of these is a one-off, there's no mass production on this. It's all complete one-offs. So I think if you look at the reality of, if you went onto our web store and brought a tri-suit, you're at 199, 249, 299, and around those price points, and going up to 400 for the full elite product. But to actually have that customized uniquely in a one-off for you, that the price should be actually so much higher. And I think you've got to try and understand the economies of scale. And for some companies, they'll rather just take a base product and say, we'll print it afterwards, because that saves you so much money than the sublimation model. And yes, there's an upgrade to put your name on, but it's nothing like what's actually involved, and the cost and the manpower with it. And then when you look at the extra products that go with it, every single hoodie in the age group range, jacket, trousers, that product was bespokely made for the age group cohort. And we brought members of the team in and British Triathlon in, and made that product from scratch. And it was, well, here's a base product, what do you think? But that needs tapering, that needs shaping, this needs moving around, because the triathlete is a unique shape. So that was like whole new patterns and gradings that we had to put into play. And typically a factory would say, I ain't touching that. Because when you tell them how many you're going to buy, they go, you're not buying 3,000 of each of those. No, I only probably want 500 or 600 of them. And then look at you gone out and go, you're not a very big customer. And go, well, no, we kind of are, but we've got a brilliant cohort we just want to deliver the best to. And we suffer penalties on the cost of the product on that. And then if we were working forwards, the prices will be actually higher because of everything we use and chosen is the very best the factory can supply. We've had to work backwards and go, that's where we think the hoodie or the jacket has to be. Can we do it? Can we put laser holes in the back of the jacket to create the Union Jack? We can do, but that's going to cost us more.
Yeah.
But we just made the decision. So I totally understand that if you're just buying off the shelf plain unique, it's not unique, then the prices can different. And it just comes back to scale, economies of scale, Edwina.
Some people are asking about that, actually. They were saying, can you get a hat in? Can you do this? And it's just like, but you can't get one hat in, can you?
You can't.
It has to be 1,000.
I have to buy 500 or 1,000. And it's, you know, we've had the discussions recently about the longevity of the suits that they're going to be legal for on World Triathlon. And when we have a 4-year partnership with British Triathlon, and at times I wish it was a lot longer, because now I've got to protect that bubble of stock, because I can't go and put that much money on the table again if I've only got a year left on the contract. Who knows what's going to happen with it. I would love it for the sustainability of the partnership and the cohort that it was a lot longer, so we could actually start bringing new products in and 1,000 hats and not sweat it, because we may only sell 300 a year, but at least we've got 3 years worth on.
Yeah.
Great. So we're really keen to make the kit accessible, and obviously this is the first full year we're going to have, which is going to be 100% HUUB kit out there.
Yep.
So I mean the Parade of Nations, it's fantastic. It was like a sea of Union Jack.
Oh, I bet it looked
all the other nations were really jealous with regards to our kit. It does look fantastic out there. But it is really important that it's cost effective and it is accessible for everybody. And for me, it's all about, not only about the look, but also the feel. And, what do you think, an age grouper should feel when they put on their HUUB kit?
Interestingly, I think they should feel nothing, because they should put the kit on and go, I don't even realize I've got it on. And that's the perfect performance product for me. But let's think about the emotion side of this. I want them to put something on and go, this quality reflects the flag on my back. And this quality reflects, I'm proud to be British, it's a British company. And it reflects the time, the effort, the commitment, the sacrifices that I put in to get myself to this standard. Because this, let's be honest, age group racing is not for everyone. It's a bit like the Norseman, this is not for you. The level of commitment and dedication is off the chart. And I want our product to reflect that. And if ever it doesn't reflect that commitment, then I'll feel like we've let down the cohort. I want you to feel like you haven't got anything on, but feel incredibly proud and that you haven't left anything out there. I can't imagine anything worse than towing the start line, and maybe you're competitive in your age group and you're looking to podium and looking at the silvers or bronzes or golds from the past next to you and thinking, they may have 10 watts on me on the bike. They may have 10 meters on the swim, and they may not get really hot on the run. And I want every British triathlete to just go, you know what? I don't need to worry about that. I don't need to worry about the research, because HUUB's done it for me.
I love that. Those are brilliant questions. And I think our viewers can see the emotional connection versus performance versus belonging. It's just brilliant.
Yeah, and we can look at the cost of products, but I mean, we look at the sustainability, don't we, Edwin, as well? If you have a poorly made product, you're having to replace it more often. Mm-hmm. And then when you look at, that every suit, as we are aware from the British Triathlon statement, has a 4-year shelf life, shall we call it. When you look at your nutrition, you'll spend more on your nutrition in a year that's a consumable than you will on your suit. You'll probably spend more on tires than you will your suit. But actually, if you take care of the suit and the work we've been doing with British Triathlon, longevity of it, it can hang around. And then if you're Johnny Brownlee, you can have it turned into a teddy bear. Did you see the teddy bears? They were fabulous.
Excellent. Oh, they're really helpful answers. And look forward to seeing what new things are going to come out as part of the age group range.
Don't worry, we're going to be asking you your opinion, Edwina. What do you think? In fact,
any sneaky ideas which you're going to be prepared to share on this podcast?
We're doing a lot of work on speeds and fabrics, and also which is going to be best for you within a certain range. There's quite a bit of work going on that, and obviously we've got to be prepared for now the swim skins and obviously sleeve suits. The sleeve suits aren't for everybody, but I think we also there's there's a belief in cycling that to go fast, you don't have to be ultra comfortable holding your hands in that position. You've got to do some yoga and stretches on your shoulders. And sometimes speed isn't comfortable. And we are playing around with some wetsuit technology that maybe isn't super comfortable, but my God, it's fast.
Indeed.
So yeah, there's a bit of that. But can I ask you, Edwina, a question? And we've asked this to Yanis when he came on. If there was something we could do in any of the products, what would you like to see added or made better?
Oh goodness, what have I added? So personally, I would like to see the arm sleeves, and calf guards made in lighter fabrics. So
Okay,
that
right,
would be the preference for me.
Yep.
Certainly, so they can fit neatly under the wetsuit and feel nice and comfortable.
Yep.
So that's a big one for me. And yeah, I think with regards to the tri-suit, love it. It's for me a little bit wide in the legs,
Okay.
and so being now, I would love to see some options there with regards to certainly ladies' sizes, and one for the ladies as well as we do like sleeveless and sleeves. So having some really good options there with regards to sleeveless certainly would be a nice preference.
Well, you'll be pleased
it
to
in.
hear that I've got 2 samples of new, slightly refined
Just try them
O-backs.
on. Yeah.
and zip back. So yeah, we're ready to go on your sleeveless. Great point on the legs.
We keep chatting about this, because everyone's such different sizes and shapes. Because
Yeah.
Yanis was the arms, wasn't he?
It was arms.
And then the swimmers, they've got the skinny little legs and the big, yeah.
What size do you wear, Edwina?
8
Right.
or
So
extra small, and
extra
I could go smaller.
so what we need to do, and it was saying with Yanis, he has small body. So we just need to look at some of the tubular dimensions, if you like, of sleeves or legs. It may be a case, we spoke about this, if we took it in a centimetre, there's still enough stretch in the fabric for someone who's a
Yeah,
little
for the
bit
bigger.
musclier, but it's tighter for you. So it's something, again, every day's a school day. We'll pick that up and have a look at it.
Brilliant.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thanks
It
for
was
your
lovely
time. I know
meeting
you've just
you.
done a lovely swim set. So I bet you're gagging for like a Jaffa cake or Marmite on
Chocolate
toast or
milk.
something. Yeah.
Exactly. A little treat, I think, in an order.
You've
And,
heard that.
yeah, a little treat. So cool. Well, enjoy the rest of the podcast and look forward to hearing the finished product.
Thanks for your time. Cheers, Arena.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Who have we got on next? Anyone, or is it just us?
I think we're going to bring on some age groupers.
Shake that groove thing. Groove thing.
Well, we try to plan things, don't we? And just sometimes things go wrong. Unfortunately, Steve can't talk.
But
What do you mean, but?
he's not lost his voice.
He's lost his voice. He's,
Okay. Do you remember what was the series after Breaking Bad? Better Call Saul.
Cool,
Yes.
yeah.
Who was the guy? I think he'd had a stroke or something. He was in the wheelchair and he couldn't talk. And he
Not
had
Hector.
Hector.
Not Hector.
Salamanca's it. Right.
Where are you going?
I have got you a Hector Salamanca bell. I think we're all got to decide is it 1 for yes or 2 for yes? 1 for yes. He's lost his voice. And I know it's not funny, but it is. And I know he's going to hate me
Steve.
for that. Strepsil man. Right. So let's have a practice. Is your name Steve? Are you from London? Oh, I love it. I love it. We're off. So no one's lost their voice. See, there's
Everyone
a
has
solution
voice in
to
age.
every
So
problem.
inclusive. Yeah.
Aren't we just? Do we call him the bellman or anything else? The bellman, yeah.
Yeah, we'll
It's the end of the day, isn't it? Yeah. You're silly. We were
Sorry.
going to ask Steve about the swim part. We're going to do it in order, aren't we? We're going to do swim, bike, run, and
makes sense.
testing the kit. Yeah. So, would you like me to help with the swim part of it?
There you go. See?
He's getting it.
You're looking too pleased with this. Right. So we're going to have a chat. I was going to ask you about the swim experience that you had with HUUB. I think I'll have to talk for him. We were invited to do the resistance testing. Can you tell us just a little bit about the resistance testing, just
Yeah.
so I don't get it wrong?
So it's very easy for brands to go along and go, I've got a wetsuit or I've got a swim skin. And I work for these brands where they go, oh, it's 5% faster, 3% faster, with no data whatsoever, apart from an athlete going, oh, it feels a bit faster. I was never going to do that with HUUB. It was always a case of research, science, and reality, and the data had to tell the story. So we've invested with Innovate UK. So it's a government-backed scheme as well. A $300,000 piece of equipment called the MAD system, and that's for the measurement of active drag.
Right.
So we can measure friction drag, we can measure force through your stroke, the frequency of your stroke, and all of that spits out down to 1% accuracy. Now that's really hard to do because the viscosity of water, it's not like in a wind tunnel. And the slightest movement can make such a drastic change. So we use the MAD system. We built it for a swimming pool in Derby, but they're not a swimming pool down. And then we took it out to Mallorca, which was great and a beautiful place to have it, but incredibly expensive, hotels, flights, experts flying in, all of that. But we brought it now back to Derby. It's an amazing moorways pool run by Everyone Active, who are such great partners. And we're testing, and you came down and did some testing on it. You were the first to test on it in Derby. And it was brilliant. And it was even more accurate than in Mallorca because we had a proper solid boom to hold a 25 meter of rigging together. And that the data that spits out, no one else in any swimming brand or triathlon brand comes anywhere near it. And when they bring out numbers, I just smile. Well, you don't know where you got that data from.
I can just say, you just said we tested it. It was incredible. We didn't really know what to expect. So he said, yeah, come down to Moorways. And so I remember walking on poolside, wearing my HUUB top, Team HUUBs. I was like, oh, hi, I'm Helly from HUUB. We're here for the swim testing. This guy, I'm HUUB.
You actually met him, didn't you?
I said, pardon?
The man himself.
Professor HUUB. I was like, Steve, it's HUUB. It's actual HUUB. It was really surreal. Do you think that was surreal?
There you go, he did.
So we actually tested that and tested the drag. We tried out different swim skins, we tried out different wetsuits. It was really tiring, but HUUB and Hans, they fell in love with Steve really because he's
a swimmer.
He's a top end swimmer.
Absolutely.
And so it's not about swimming as fast as you can. It's about measuring the force required for the drag. So obviously a suit that has less drag in it, it's going to require less force. They were there with the data, they were there with the computers. It was so scientific. It was, I'm a geek and I absolutely loved it. And they loved it. Had you noticed?
Yeah, wasn't it? I didn't pick up on that.
No. I feel seen. But see, when you meet people who are so passionate and as passionate as you, and you can talk and talk and talk and the eyes aren't glazing over, it was incredible, wasn't it? So we did that testing. And I was going to ask you, really, did it feel different wearing, when you wear the finished suit, but then being part of testing? You're gonna have to just nod or something. Yeah. So I think I'll take it from Steve.
I think what was cool about having Steve there, when you have someone who's from a stronger swim background, the pacing is more accurate. The feel for the water is just that little bit better.
They fell in love with him, didn't they? We came for lunch with you the next day. And you're like, those two men.
They can have a level of conversation and understanding. Not that we don't get it.
Yeah.
But just those extra nuances of the swim. Yeah. I just appreciate.
Well, they would start off, you have to swim slow. So they said maybe 25 seconds for length, then 24 seconds, 23, get down. And because he's got such a range as well, he's getting down, swimming so fast. But they were having a laugh with us, weren't they? It's like, let's aim for 22.4. And he'd come, he's like, 22.3. Yeah, close.
They said you were a robot.
He was. Absolute machine. So, yeah. So that's why we needed you on here, even if you couldn't say very much. So, you do get the age groupers. And obviously, we had Tom Bishan as well. He had been in Mallorca. So that's the second time he'd done it. Yeah. So he was telling us, sort of how to do it, because it does take a little bit of technique.
And what you were doing, Tom was actually testing the credibility of suits with different fabrics for the swim that we'd been to the wind tunnel previously a couple of weeks before, that we knew how well they performed in the wind tunnel. But it's more than one sport, right? And especially with sleeve suits now and swim skins, you've got a part of the suit that's still facing the water. So we put those two together and the outcome was really, really surprising, which suits worked well in hydrodynamic and aerodynamic situations.
Yeah, it was really fun. We did the swim skins, we did the wetsuits. You put on one of the entry-level wetsuits and he thought it was amazing. He's like, this is an amazing wetsuit. Yep. Then he put on the Batman suit and it's just like, oh my goodness. It's like, so, you can see the difference and it showed on the MAD system. It showed the difference.
Oh yeah, the gains they're there, and it's evidenced.
Yeah. So is that okay for the swim? Do you want to talk any more about the swim, or should we move
No,
on?
I think what's interesting, what we touched on earlier, and I'll ask you a 1 or 2 bell question. We've spoken about being aerodynamic on the bike. It doesn't have to be comfortable, because the expectation is it's probably not comfortable holding your elbows into tight. Is your belief, or would you be willing to sacrifice a bit of comfort for a bit of extra speed on the swim? Because I don't think swimmers are being held tight enough or constricted enough on the swim, and we're working on that in some really ingenious ways. So would you be happy to go through a little bit of discomfort for a bit more speed? There you go. That's a one-ring
I think that's
answer.
a yes. I think that's a yes.
But it's interesting that there's when you look at the feedback, and that's because it's not data driven, and when anyone's doing that, lots of other brands are going, oh yeah, I love it because I felt like it was just so comfortable and buttery. Yeah, but it's not fast. It's not fast.
Well, we chatted about that, with if it's a swimsuit, it is tight, isn't it? It takes half an hour to put a swimming racing costume on. So
Swim skins, for example, they're running 10 seconds. Wagging them up and put the zip up.
Yeah.
Actually, we should be saying, it takes you 10 minutes, even with a zip. When you think of the old competitive pool days of the longer suits with the zips, certainly the women's suits, they still took ages to get on.
Yeah.
And Fina then went and messed it all up by saying no zips, but there you go. Got to get over that.
Let it go.
I know, I'm trying.
How many films can we talk about today? Excellent. Should we move on?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. So we have Voggy, David
you.
Bogwell, yes?
Yep.
It doesn't have a bell.
He doesn't know.
No, I don't need it.
He's chatty. So you actually have half of the original, the OG of the ambassadors from 2023, me, David, and Yanis.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we've
Absolutely.
been through quite a lot together, haven't we?
Yeah,
And we
yeah.
were testing the HUUB stuff. We were on the chats together with the kit.
When was it you were first here? That was 2 years.
Yeah, 2023.
2023, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's flown,
3
hasn't
years
it?
ago, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then we met you, on the podcasts, the webinars, doing the kit and stuff. So your strength really is duathlon, isn't it? I know you're coming in this year with more swimming. But
Yeah,
we're gonna
back
have
in
a
the
chat to
water,
you.
but
Yes,
yeah, just
Yeah.
aiming to get through it and then onto the bike
absolutely.
is the plan.
So, I think we were going to ask Voggy about what you can tell us about testing it from a cycling perspective, with the tri-suit and stuff.
I mean, I suppose the fact is, as an age grouper, we're just proud to wear the kit no matter what. But the real dream, is to have something we're proud of and something that works for us as
Absolutely.
well.
Yeah.
So combining that is, like I said, that's the dream. That's what we're after. And I suppose ideally, if we were going to do the best bike leg, we'd be getting stitched into a speed suit in transition.
totally.
Yeah. But like you say, that's not triathlon. We've got three sports in the same piece of kit, and it needs to work for all three. And I suppose the bike is maybe the key part of that, because you might have a wetsuit on during the swim.
Yep.
Running may not have as much difference, but on the bike, you really want to rely on your kit, same as rely on the bike.
Yeah.
And holding position for as long as we can. But if the kit's doing the work as well, then that's something we don't have to think about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd say on the bike, technical inadequacies are truly exposed on the bike.
Yeah.
That's where it's made, isn't it? We know. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I've got so much to think about during a race. I don't want to be thinking about the suit. Like we were saying before, the only time I want to think about the suit is when I look at the photos and I think, yeah, that looks good.
Oh,
That looks good.
Look
But
at
yeah,
my guns.
tensing up when you go past the photographer.
Actually, what do you say before? What do you want to feel? Like, let's talk about the run. What do you want to feel? What do you want in a suit on the run?
Yeah, and I think we've probably all been on a start line, fidgeting around, thinking, "Oh, this doesn't feel right," or or we're out on a training run. So not having that worry is perfect. And I think we spend so much time and money on our kits that I think there's always the danger that sometimes our training kit can be even better than what we're racing in. So it's great to have some racing kit that matches up to all the training we've put in. And like you say, it lasts, it lasts. And the percentage of all the fees that we're paying, I just feel that the kit's not a gamble. So I might try a new pair of trainers, for
Yeah, that's
I don't want to say too
£400
much.
gamble now, isn't
Well,
it?
my wife might be listening. I don't want to say how much I spend on trainers.
That's really cheap trainers.
But
Yeah.
you're saving up those green shield stamps are really cheap, aren't they?
But I like the fact that a tri-suit's it's not a gamble, because I know the R&D's gone into it. I know HUUB have, they haven't just started doing this. They've been making these suits for years. All of that's
what you base it off, isn't it? Years and years. It's not just the brand new GB suit.
It's just not now.
It's yeah.
Yeah, and that's a great point. I love the way you put that, because there is no gamble. And when you think, if you were spending £400 on your bike, what would you get? Well, you might get 2 sets of the latest tyres.
yeah.
You wouldn't even get a ceramic speed rear mech, would you? Hanger,
No.
jockey
no.
wheels. You wouldn't even get that. And yet this suit can deliver up to 10, 12 watts benefit. There's certainly a lot more watts over previous suits that have been offered to age groupers. So actually, when you look at the pound per watts saving, I'm building a tri-bike up because I'm desperate to make the age group cohort and qualify.
You're going to do it.
I'm going to, but I've gone and brought a frame from 2006. But I know that if I've got the right wheels on it and at the right position and a HUUB suit, actually all that money on the frame isn't worth it anymore.
Yeah.
Because the suit is a safe bet and my aero position is a safe bet.
Yeah.
And I think all the age groupers out there have probably watched that video online where the suit was in the wind tunnel at Silverstone. And the results just kind of speak for themselves, don't they?
Yeah, and that was done independently. And Easy
yeah.
Gains went, "Can we test your suits?" I was like, "Okay, going." we knew the results, but you don't know how they're going to their test protocol and what Euro angles they're going to use.
Yeah, but I mean that was really conclusive, wasn't it? The numbers they had.
Oh, absolutely. We felt super confident, and we knew that wasn't a risk or a gamble. But what we need to do now is improve on that. And find another 1% or another 1 watt and keep pushing it and keep finding, that's our number
that's
now.
the theme coming through, though, isn't it? You just keep pushing and keep tweaking and keep testing. You're asking everybody what they would change, and you never stay still, do you?
No, we don't. We have travelling salesmen of fabric manufacturers from Italy, and they'll come and sit on the sofa here and unlock the case, and there's just sheet after sheet after sheet of white fabric with different ridges on, different textures, and we have to order samples of that and then go and test it and turn it inside out and test it at different angles and test it under turbulence, and you just don't know what all the outcome's going to be, and then you've got to test it in the swim as well, and it's just relentless. And especially you don't want to miss, it's almost like you're digging for gold, and you don't want to miss that golden nugget. So you've got to explore everything and dig everything up and see what is really happening.
Absolutely. It's interesting you say that. When you're thinking about the run, are you thinking about, whether it's going to dry properly, sweat, it's those sorts of things that you have to think about, isn't it?
And I think when it comes to the run part, it's all about comfort by then, because you're already tired. You're onto the run. You just want to be concentrating on the run.
Yeah, you just don't want your legs bleeding or anything.
You need quick drying.
Yeah.
You want, not too much moisture. And obviously we race in all sorts of environments in this same suit. So you might do like a really cold race, somewhere in, like I've done a race in Switzerland where I was absolutely freezing. I've done a really hot race in Spain. It's the same suit I've got to wear.
Yeah.
So it needs to be able to react to the conditions we're in. So yeah, it's all about the comfort. And obviously, there's some aero gain, isn't there, when you're running? Having my sleeves. And
you can certainly say like muscle control, and certainly in the in the fabrics and the compression that they deliver.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are actually looking at certain parts of the body during the run and what can be done aerodynamically. It's quite interesting.
Interesting.
Where that could go.
Yeah,
it really is.
And also having access to kind of storage for like gels,
and as
like that for the run.
We've found that's changed. So our pros, and Alistair was the first pro Brownlee, to say I want the pockets at the front. And now we're getting asked more and more, certainly in our bespoke suits, to put just the pockets in the front.
Right,
and does anyone actually use them in the back anymore? Have you seen the storage on the latest bikes? It's like having 3 fridges and a larder strapped to it. You don't need any pockets, do you?
I've got a basket on the front of mine, isn't it?
With a little dog in it, Dorothy.
But yeah, so it is, I mean, they are great to run in. And it makes me think about, maybe I should wear a tri-suit. I come from running background, which is little shorts and a little singlet.
Yeah, exactly.
We're doing the London Marathon, aren't we? Maybe I should wear my tri-suit. I can get my gels in there.
Chaffing.
Yeah.
Well,
It's worth thinking about, isn't it?
Yeah, big time. But you have to wonder if the influence of tri is now on running a tyre with the tight tights and storage for phone and storage for gels.
Yeah.
And I can't go out now and run anything else because, you know, your phone's there to listen to all your books or your podcasts. And then you put your gels in and it's just brilliant, isn't it? But that's kind of born from try, really.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Carry what you need.
Yeah. Without it rattling around too much.
Yeah. And also I think where nutrition's kind of changed and you know, I know like I take on a lot more carbs per hour now than I used to. I mean, training the gut. So that just means you've got more to carry. It's got more gels trying to find places to put them.
Right. It's okay saying I'm going to take 200 grams in, but
where
where'd
am I
you
gonna
put it?
Yeah. So I think that's always the development as well, like you say, isn't it?
Yeah, massively. And you can't stand still. When we first developed our first ever tri suit in 2011 to 12, we looked at the way the body moves when you run, and the least movement or rotation is on the sides here. So we put our first pockets on the sides of the suit. So actually when you're running, just to make sure your arms didn't catch it. But yeah, that the gels and whatever stayed in place, and rather than have it on the back, which is moving around on the different velocity, if you like.
Interesting.
Maybe we need to go back there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've done the swim, we've done the bike, we've done the run. Is there anything else you wanted to add to
Well,
it?
I'm happy to talk about training wear.
Yeah.
We've invested a lot in training wear.
You've invested a lot.
We have invested a lot.
A lot.
Yeah. And it's beautiful stuff.
It is.
You know, and we think it's right. And the fittings, you know, more flexible material, more stretch to them, more flattering, shall we say, better quality materials.
Well, the guys even wearing, they're beautiful, aren't they?
Yeah, modelling
Really,
it.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I think this is the long sleeve t-shirt and the short sleeve t-shirt that has caused more pain because as soon as it was up on the website, it sold out.
Instantly.
And we ordered more quickly, but within those like 1 week of it being out of stock, the sky really was falling down and we had to replenish those really quickly.
And I think when it comes to the training kit as well, it gets washed so often.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's always in that cycle, isn't it, of being worn, getting washed, being worn.
Yeah.
So anything, if it can retain shape, if it can, you know, wash nicely, not get faded out.
I mean, I don't know how many times you've watched these, but they still look
Just meant,
great,
yeah.
don't they? Yeah. And we, you know, if I may have a selfish plug here, we use that material for some events finishes t-shirt.
You do.
And it's more expensive than a standard wash my car in that dishcloth finishes race t-shirt. But they keep going. And we sponsor the Derby 10K. And you see t-shirts now that are 6-7 years old and they're still out on the road and they still look as good as day one. So I just think it's testimony. It's sometimes a little bit more in cost. Yes, the Outlaws out the same fabrics.
It's so light and soft and beautiful. Yeah.
And let's look at sustainability of materials. And we, you know, everyone is aware we're working with British Triathlon to not throw products away.
Yeah.
That, you know, if you charge £5 more, but it lasts 3 times longer, then the economy, you know, not only in your pocket, but the sustainable piece.
Yeah.
I tend to wear active wear anyway. I wear my kit to work as well, you know, the tracksuit. So
Of course you do.
What, when you're like GPing and seeing ill
The
people?
patients love it. They honestly do. Like,
Do you
how much time have you got?
I was going to say, do you do the triathlete thing and go, hi, I'm your GP. Did you know I'm a triathlete? Have you seen my tattoos?
They see the HUUB, they see the little, you know, the flag, and they love it. They honestly love it. But
Great
it is
icebreaker.
Comfy. It is comfy.
Talking point.
Yeah, beautiful.
And I think with the sustainability, it's also worth wearing your going back to the tri-suit, it's worth wearing your tri-suit in training to get used to it, to get it worn in. Don't just say,
first time on race day, do you?
I know there's a bit of a stigma about wearing your GB kit not in a world championship or but you know, I'm saying no. Ring your bell, Steve. No, you can wear your kit at other times. If you want to wear it to park run, wear it to park run.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, you wouldn't wear a brand new pair of shoes for an Ironman, would you?
exactly. Yeah.
So you
Get it worn in.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is us telling age groupers, let's normalise wearing our kit, yes?
Oh yeah, I can feel some hate coming already.
There might be some funny looks at park runs
Okay, except for park
if you're
run.
not winning.
That's true. Yeah, yeah, you have to win. That's
Apparently it's not a race. Who knew?
also not true. Yeah.
So can we ask you I mean, you can't say a lot, Steve, but any one product you would like to see or any one product you'd like to see altered or changed any at all?
Oh, I mean, I do like the idea of kind of further tweaks to like storage.
Yep.
Those kind of adaptations that can be made over the next few years. Obviously, it depends on where everyone's going, what people are doing, but
Yep.
I think that would be great. And I like the kind of the crossover parts. Like I think you talked about it earlier, the kind of ribbon something that kind of
Ties it in.
goes across the whole range of something. So it's really kind of clear to us. Like you can always recognise another age grouper because it doesn't have to be big.
And things, isn't
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the same fraternity, aren't you? And I love that.
Yeah.
It's just like a secret nod, isn't it?
It's my favourite team. It is. We are. It's just a lovely group of people, isn't it?
In fact, underneath the podcast, we should have some notes of should we get rid of rear pockets on tri-suits and just have
Do you
internal
know what?
front
I think we
pockets?
should do more podcasts. I think we should invite more questions because this is only going to have more
Well,
questions,
yeah,
isn't it?
we could solve lots of issues or open many cans of worms on this podcast.
The next one is the Can of Worms podcast.
Yeah, and maybe over time we'll grow personalities, and one of us will turn into Mark from Pro Tri News or something. And,
Start calling people out.
There you go.
So with your skinny little legs, do you want them tightening as well? Yeah.
With your skinny little legs. Harsh. The man can't talk.
We had this conversation today with your old legs as well, aren't you? And
As well for you.
Well, I was quite happy when I had my bike fit to be told that I should be like 6'1".
With those legs.
With my legs, yeah. I felt,
I get told that with my weight. You should be 7 foot.
Is that your GP?
Yeah. Health practitioner, GP, vitality, everybody.
Well, I think that's bringing us to a lovely close, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think
great.
we've
And
had an amazing group of people on here.
yeah, thanks for the...
I'd like to hope we've answered lots of questions, but yeah, should we do it again?
I think we should do it
Should we
again.
do it again in like
There's
2
always
weeks'
more
time?
questions.
People can message in some more questions, whatever.
Yeah, totally.
These came from age groupers.
And who would you like to see us talk to, or someone talk to us, or grill me
Yes.
from triathlon? But
Yeah.
let's invite someone in.
Yeah.
Be cool.
Who would you like to see?
Yeah.
Great idea.
Maybe get Ruth Daniels on, and she can talk about the vision for British triathlon.
Yeah.
Because without British triathlon, the age group world doesn't
There
exist.
isn't
does it?
anything. Yeah. So that brings us to the end of our podcast. Dean, the CEO, you've seen the passion, the man behind it all, my friend. I'm very
just
lucky.
part of the team. Just part of the
You
team.
are, but we're proud of you. So,
Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you for watching. It was really surreal. Do you think that was surreal?
Should have rang your bell at the end. There you go. He did.